I gave you this handout, the 12 principles, okay? You've probably been given it in other classes. It's imperative that you look at it in this class. And if you don't, trust me, what will happen is your animation is going to be a cartoon that's stuck to the paper. And it'll show, I mean, like I said in other classes, your classmates are going to lie to you, trust me. This is the moment where if you don't try to draw your character with the thought in mind and what your character is thinking, it's going to show. It's going to show. It'll show because you're animating with your brain and not with just the illusion that the character has to move. You know, if you just draw it that the character has to move, it'll look robotic is what it'll look like. It'll look robotic. So I took the liberty of actually Xeroxing this just for you guys, for your own reference. Keep in mind, the 12 principles aren't etched in the stone, but let's just say you want to make your animated scene is a scene where your character enters a space, right? And he drops down into the space. And once he's inside the space, he stands and he explodes into like a million blotches of just goo. And they hit all over the walls and everywhere. And then they find themselves where they actually come back together. When the character comes back together, you probably want to do something to emphasize the fact that your character just exploded. Okay, so if your character, and what I'm saying is, if your character explodes, he probably wouldn't pull himself back together and then just stand there and take a bow. He wouldn't do that. I mean, he just exploded, so he's probably going to try to shake it off, or, you know, probably wipe his forehead in relief, or it's going to be something. He has to react to something. He just exploded and came back together. You know, so what's going to make the animation scene that you design, what's going to make it interesting is when you give thought to it. You know, you want to give some thought to it. You know, think about what it is that you want to do, because the truism is that when you're animating a character, the hardest thing to do is to put yourself in the character. That's a real hard thing to do.
Oh my God.
It's just hard to do. That's real hard to do. I hate to say it, but it can't be done by computer. It can't. It's not going to be able to be done by computer. Your stuff is going to look like all the other students who graduate from this school. When we see it, you know, it'll be the stuff that they leave behind. They don't even animate the characters. They just leave them like they are. They're just designs. They're models. I've seen some of the animations that students have done. Some of them are good. Their 2D work is good, but they're told not to put the 2D work in there. I actually would suggest putting that in, because some of the 2D work is better than the 3D work. It's way better. I mean, it shows the 12 principles. I mean, it shows personality. Some of the 3D stuff doesn't show that, and that's only because I hate to say it, but it's true, you guys. Here at the Art Institute, you guys are sort of handicapped in a way, only because the other classes, the upper classes or the 3D classes, they're not gonna explore the 12 principles. They're not. They're just not gonna do that. They're not gonna do it because that's character animation. So you're kind of sliding. You know, you're going into the industry where they're gonna be thinking that you know this. And when they give you when they put you in a group to work on a scene, they're gonna be like, okay, you know, somebody, if you don't know it, if you don't pick it up, somebody in your group is going to reveal it to the rest of the people in the group. They're like, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Your stuff's crappy. Horrible. They may not say anything to you, but somebody will tell your supervisor, and your supervisor will write you a nice little note. Normally, that's what they'll write you a nice little note saying, well, you know, we're going to put you on another assignment. What the future? You ain't too working at animation. Don't worry about it. You know, that's if they keep you. If they keep you, they'll put you on something else. you'll go in at a pay rate doing one position and you'll end up doing something else. Something that has nothing to do with animation. And then what they'll do is they'll try to train you. If they do that, then that means that they're gonna definitely call the school. We've had people call the school. For some reason, that just doesn't get their attention. They have people call the school. Anyway, again, this is very important. I would suggest when you get started next week on designing your storyboard, keep this stuff in mind. In other words, your primary assignment here is to make a scene. What's your question?
There's a storyboard due next week?
No. Next week you're going to work on the storyboarding class. What I'll be doing next week is just a model. A model of what your character looks like. Yeah. I would suggest again, like I said in other classes,
simple.
Keep it simple. Thank you, Andre. Keep it simple.
I knew you were
Don't make a real I mean, all you guys are really great artists, but what you're thinking, what this class is asking of you is to simplify, because you're going to have to design that character over and over again. And it won't be like an animatic. It'll be like, we need to see it move. It can't be like here, and then it's here, and then it's here. Can't be that, because it'll be like, wow, that looks like an animatic. It's not moving. You wanna make it simple. Make it simple, because simple is easier to reproduce over and over and over again. Okay, so do that. Now, as far as the exercise, we're going to do 2 exercises, and then I'll show you like a pencil test from the Aladdin movie. I hope if that works, then I'll show you some animations that were done in the past. Wait, but first, I need to do a short lecture, very short. Not even going to take that long. It's very short. We got to do this. It's very short. Okay, a couple of things just to keep in mind. This is only about 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, they said anything that can be animated, anything can be animated, but animating anything well is very difficult. If you do not know the principles of animation, that's very true. The reason this is stated, the reason why I took that right out of the book, is because it's so very true. Some people seem to think that if you have a character's head that actually spins around or moves through space, that's supposed to be animation. But it's not. It's just a floating head floating through space. The thing about animation, based on these principles, is that characters have to do things for a reason. If a character is going to reach for something, their hands need to go back first and then reach for it. Now you're probably asking, well, why should they do that? Well, that's called anticipation. The reason they do that is because you're doing it for that audience, the child audience, the audience that actually is not going to read